do something else in closing. Okay, so now it is merged to the main branch and it is deployed to the users. Once the user updates their Zoom client on their desktop, now you will see a changed close icon. So this is how you contribute to a project like that. So I hope that was clear now. Okay, so most people have given a thumbs up till now. Okay, so importance of open source, understand why open. So this was about what is open source and how what you guys will do as part of open source contribution. So we'll understand the importance of open source, why open source is crucial for collaboration and innovation. Introduction to Hacktoberfest, like the initiative that is going on in October month for promoting the open source contribution among students and working professionals. Discover what Hacktoberfest is and its significance in the tech community. Okay, benefits of participating. Learn how participating can enhance your skills and boost your resume. So it has a very long lasting impact on your resume. It can definitely boost your resume, because if 10 people are applying for a job, if you have a Google Summer of Code or some irrespective of Google Summer of Code or any other initiative that I'll be talking about in the later part, if you have done open source contribution to a bigger project that has a lot of let's say millions or thousands of users, so that will kind of shine your resume in that way. How to register for Hacktoberfest, I'll be going through the website as well to show you guys like what is the website, what it does, and some instruction around the website as well. Okay, winning goodies, I mean from this year onwards, earlier Hacktoberfest, there are certain number of PRs. PR is pull request that you have to raise to a particular project. It can be small scale project, it can be a big scale project, anything. Okay. Since Hacktoberfest is just 1 month long and a lot of people get to know about the projects in the month itself, so usually they contribute to the README files. Basically, smaller contribution in terms of starting their open source journey. Okay, so there is a list of, I mean, there is a count of minimum PRs that you have to raise, and it had to be merged before the end of October, so as to be considered eligible for the goodies or digital badge. This time they are not sending. Earlier, what happened was, if you complete those 4 or 5 PRs, earlier it was 5, now it is 4. If your 4 PRs or 5 PRs are merged successfully into a project, it can be a dummy project, it can be a project with millions of users, anything. Okay, if they are successfully merged to a project and your PRs are approved and merged, yeah, let's say in the first 10 days or before the end of October, you were successfully merged 5 PR and they are approved and they are merged. In that case, you are eligible for the Hacktoberfest goodies. So a lot of people I saw in my college and even myself did this thing to get a t-shirt that was dispatched by Digital Ocean from USA. Okay, so I've participated for multiple years, like in my third year, fourth year, second year, I think. So I've got multiple t-shirts in that terms. Okay, that was one kind of lot of stickers, t-shirt directly from USA. It took time, some couple of months to clear customs and all, but it finally came to India, to have that something directly dispatched from USA. That was a kind of accomplishment on that, on your own in during your college days, right? So that's one thing that was very exciting about open source contribution. I also participated in couple of initiatives, by colleges like Triple IT Allahabad. It conducted a this open code by Triple IT Allahabad, where you contribute to the projects that they maintain, where you can kind of push some new features. And once you complete it, I got a t-shirt from there as well, swags, stickers, key rings, t-shirts and everything. So that was one exciting part. Okay, let me complete this, I'll get all of these things. Sorry. So now that trend has changed, and there was a lot of operational overheads on sending because this has got a lot of popularity, right? A lot of YouTubers have made video about open source contribution, what is Hacktoberfest, how to participate in it, right? And so that with the advent of increasing users, it's very operationally very difficult for them to release t-shirts this time. So they are giving a digital badge, so for everyone participating, and as soon as your PR gets merged from 1 to 4, first PR, second PR, third PR, you'll get an enhanced badge, digital badge. So it's very easy to dispatch in terms of getting dispatching that to the contributors. So now that t-shirt unfortunately is not here. Okay. uh, Pravan, I mean, Pravan, you're saying your skills must be on another level then. See, it depends what kind of project you are contributing. If you are contributing to a very large scale, for example, if you guys have heard of Monstack, there is Node.js, right? You guys have heard of Node.js, right? So I know my college junior who participated in, who was the maintainer for the Node.js project. Maintainers are like high level people that actually have some good amount of knowledge about particular project that they are working with. So early you climb the ladder by and by. Okay, I mean, as a full-time individual working in a company, it usually becomes harder for me to continuously participate. I mean, I know what open source is, how to participate, how to contribute to project, but it takes another level. Because right now you might be all college students having college assignments and other stuffs, and your main goal would be to learn things, right? So in terms of learning, this is a very good opportunity, and the kind of project that you're contributing to, that definitely, because I know something, but the project, who are the maintainers, the multiple other developers are also contributing to that project, right? So you learn from them what are the best coding practices, because once you do a code change and raise a pull request, there is a very rigorous review process that goes through behind. Okay, that you naming of variable is not right, your code practice is not right, you have not written the test cases. So that lot of learning happen, because as a college student you are not very much aligned with industry level coding practices and all of the nitty and gritty about the same, right? So in that case, the learning, once you go to a professional setup in a MNC, in a startup, all of those information that you learned during open source contribution, that comes handy there, so you do not make that mistake in your company now, right? So that gives a very positive impression for you in that company. So that is all of the advantage. And if you are very interested in a project, for example, AppWrite is one open source project that I know, one friend of mine works for it. Okay, you start contributing to it, and they have some hiring position as well, so you can get hired into that project as a full-time employee as well, remote employee, full-time employee, like that, right? So you have to find your interest area, the tech stack that you have learned, and then find a project that aligns with your interest area, and then start by and by contributing. We'll be going through how you can start contributing to these projects. Okay, and you can by and by build on top, because open source project, if it's a large scale product, that project that multiple thousands or millions of people are using, it is very difficult to go through multiple modules. You will have to pick one single module and explore that first. Okay, it's very difficult to even, it is so overwhelming. I mean, as a college student, I felt that, okay, that this is lakhs of lines of code base is there, and as a college student, what I was aware of, like thousands of code at max, right? So to navigate through the entire code base, see, do that local development setup, and then find out what module is doing what. You do not have to understand everything, but you have to pick up a module and see how this is working, and if there is any improvement that you can do, or if there is any issue that you see that you can work upon. Like, how is the scope for data analyst, ML engineers, and other DS fields as opposed to software development? Utkarsh, if you are interested in machine learning, you might definitely have heard of TensorFlow library, right? PyTorch, scikit-learn, TensorFlow, all of these are machine learning libraries. These are all open source. If you are very interested in statistics, mathematics, and TensorFlow and all of that, you can directly go to contribute to these libraries. Okay. Yeah, so Lekha, it doesn't matter which tier are you from. I am from myself from a tier 3. It depends on how much effort you are trying to put, and how much effort and learning you are having on the way, and how much effort you can put in the end. That's it. Okay, second year AIML Shobit, I am not understanding the question. Okay. Yeah, anyone could rise, it is irrespective of any tier and all. Show that t-shirt. Okay, it isn't a t-shirt. Okay, but it is a t-shirt actually. I mean, right now I do not have it, but maybe I'll google it for the later, the previous years of, I had got multiple t-shirts. I mean, people of my college, kind of used to do that from multiple accounts so as to get multiple t-shirts. That's what I also know. Okay, contributing to a project to make it better for others, right? Yes, Aditya, that is the right understanding. contributing to a project to make that project better, and so that the users of that project get benefited by your contribution. You do that contribution and it is used by 1000 people, then there would be a sense of accomplishment, right? That okay, this is something I worked upon that you are using today. If I made Zoom, let's say, so how happy would I be that okay, millions of people are using now Zoom, right? So that kind of thing. Okay. Okay, Aditya, I am not sure what question you are asking. There are a lot of questions. If I have fixed bug at the same time 20 others are working on the same bug, how would one get an upper hand on that? Okay, that's a very specific question, Aditya. See, there are issues in GitHub repository that we'll be going through. Maybe I'll show you guys. Okay, issues are there, right? You have to claim that issue, right? And you, let's say, Aditya, you claimed that issue, the project maintainers or the project moderators assigned you that okay, Aditya, go forward and work on this issue. You work for on that, let's say, for a week, but you are unresponsive. Now you have taken 15-20 days, no response. I also go to the repository. Okay, I said at a time only one person can have that issue being assigned. Okay, I go, since you were so unresponsive, it will give you maybe some reminder to kind of push. But I go to the repository, I see also that okay, somebody had taken this issue previously but he has not raised a pull request, or even let's say you have raised a pull request but it got closed and not merged. There were multiple issues with that. I will claim that okay, give me that issue, I also want to work on that. Okay, in that case the issue would, if the project maintainers want, that issue can be assigned to me. I'll work in 2 days, I'll raise a PR, and if they like it, if the review process is fine, they're good with my code, my PR will get merged like that. So yeah, towards the end, Utkarsh, we'll walk through a GitHub repository. I have also forked one. Okay, so let's move on to the slides. I mean, let's not get diverted. So these are the big level, high level agenda that I have. Uh, Finding beginner friendly issues, and then in the end, we will have a separate 20 minutes Q&A session for you guys. Okay. So, understanding open source, exploring the benefits of collaborative development. Definition of open source, I think you might be everyone would be aware by now. Open source means software with freely available source code for modification and distribution. Example, React and Flask. So React, just a lot of you might have worked upon, right? So if you are a front-end developer, you might definitely might have heard or worked on React.js, right? So some guys would have made that library. Originally, it was made by Facebook engineers, right? But later on it was open source for everyone. So once it is open source, a lot of people start to work upon this library. They are building this library and you are using the features to build the UI. So this is also this open source. Flask is a framework for building APIs, lightweight APIs in Python, using Python language, right? So Flask is also, and I told, as I told, for machine learning area, data scientist area, this TensorFlow, scikit-learn, I think NumPy is also open source. A lot of multiple website and this libraries are there that are open source. If you want to become a master of, let's say, TensorFlow or something, you can start navigating through the readme contribution guidelines, readme.md of that particular project, and then you can build on top of it. And once you are comfortable understanding the project, then you can start contributing to it. Okay. Drive innovation. Innovation thrives as developers can build upon existing code and create new solution. So as I already told, building a large scale project right from scratch alone is very tough. It's very time taking, time consuming, and you feel that you do not have that certain level of skill, right? But in these larger projects, let's say some moderate level of project with moderate number of users, it's fairly easier to pick up a smaller module in that bigger project and spend time in contributing to that particular module, so you get the bigger picture of that, what the entire application is doing and what enhancement you are trying to make. Okay, and from other modules you can learn what are the code practices, how people are commenting the code, how people are documenting their features, right? All of those you can learn in that. And instead, because a lot of learning happen via the peer group, so you see five other people following a practice of code, let's say linting practices, pre-commit practices, all of that. So it helps you understand those, and later on, once you are working in your personal project or your company project, all of this information will come handy and you'll be at upper hand from other developers in your team. So like that. Key platform. So popular platforms include GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. So these are three popular platforms where most of the open source repositories are hosted, because when I tell you about a project, it would be somewhere on the internet, right? So these are hosted on GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. There could be others, but these are the most famous ones, right? Most of the repository would be on GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. Even among these three, GitHub is the most famous one. Okay, GitHub was a startup initially, but Microsoft acquired GitHub by $7.5 billion deal. So this is the power of GitHub. That is how many repositories and things it hosts at its platform. Okay, community driven development leads to diverse contribution and a broader perspective, because building your own project with your college peers, let's say 4 5 people that you have limited knowledge of the industry, of the tech stack. But when you go start deep diving into open source project, people are having expertise into that particular area with multiple years of experience, right? So when you work with such people now, the learning curve that you get by working with them, that is exponential, and that cannot be achieved with college projects or college peers or like that. Okay, so that's where the real development in terms of learning happens. I mean, initiatives are one thing, but just doing it for the learning purpose very much, complements your skill set and complements your resume, complements your learning, everything. So that is all the benefits of community driven development. Okay, so this is all the benefits. Skill enhancement, I have already talked enough about skill enhancement. So you see multiple other code that other people have written, you might not be knowing about it. Then you see their code, you might read about it. If they're using a specific design pattern, you might read about that, how to implement that design pattern in your code next time. So all of those learnings, right? So that learning curve is very good. Contributing to open source can significantly boost your programming skills and experience. Okay, career opportunities. Participation in open source projects can enhance your resume and attract employers. So as I have already told that putting your open source contribution in your resume or LinkedIn itself, one shiny thing is that you're putting with respect to open source. I mean, people highly value open source contribution, especially if it's on a larger scale project, because industry best practices already. This is the understanding that if you have and that is by default true, that if you have contributed to a big large scale project, you definitely would be having industry best practices, the code quality things, how to make a commit, the good information about version controlling system like Git. Okay, and the multiple commands it has, rebasing, pushing, pulling, forking, and creating branches, and all of that, these all will come handy in the employer that you would be working for. So once the employer knows that you have already contributed, that gives you a brownie point, right, in that terms. Okay, and once people see that you have multiple open source contribution in your bucket, they definitely consider you over anybody else. Okay, so that is one brownie point that you can have. Hacktoberfest participation. Hacktoberfest encourages contribution to open source and rewards participants with digital badges. So now it's become digital badges. Earlier it was t-shirts, goodies, stickers, and all of that. Okay, this is just given to kind of attract students to that they'll get stickers. And during my time in college, it was very kind of considered good if you have multiple stickers on your laptops. I'm not sure if you guys do it in your college or not, but yeah, my laptop's flap was totally covered with multiple stickers by going to conferences, meetups for data science, for this Hacktoberfest, and multiple other things. So that was considered one, kind of, and that's the person is knowledgeable and all of that. Yeah. So finding issues to contribute. Learn how to identify beginner friendly issues that match your skills and interests, because we have 200 plus students right now in the chat, right? Everybody's capabilities, everybody's interest area, everybody's skill set would be different, right? So let's say if somebody is interested in Python, he will go on GitHub and see for projects with the tag of Hacktoberfest, as well as that are written in Python. Because if he doesn't know Java, how will he contribute to that project, right? So if it's written in Python, he will have some easy understanding of the project in terms of understanding, right? So he can fork the project, clone the project, run in it, it's local in your local machine, and see how it's working first thing. This is the first thing that you will do with any project. Okay, so find that's how you find. I will come on to how to find beginner friendly issues. Like it's a bigger project, there are, let's say, 200 300 issues. So how do you filter out the beginner friendly issues that are left for beginners to try on, and the project maintainers or the high level people won't touch that issue? And a beginner friendly issue could be, let's say, a typo in their readme file, kind of that smaller issue basically. I'll quickly have a look on the chart. DSA is not particularly important. I mean, it's definitely good to have, but in terms of project, if you know particular tech stack, it will help. But yeah, in terms of coding things out, DSA definitely. If it's a backend developer project, let's say backend framework or something, DSA definitely comes handy. You should have knowledge, but it doesn't makes it a bar for you to cross to enter open source. And these are, you can, without DSA you can also do that, but it's preferred to have some DSA knowledge. Yes, lot of projects would be written in C. Okay. Yeah, C++ and C in basic level. So you can find a project on C++ as well. Okay. If I are just a beginner, should I join? Yeah, that's where your skill improvement, your learning will happen. So today you are beginner. Once you revolve around through these projects, it will take some time. Definitely the learning curve would be there, but once you are accompanied with the terminologies being used, the readme, the contribution guidelines and everything, that's where the learning will happen. So even in C++, if you want to develop your enhance your C++ skill, you can find a C++ project that is written in C++ and start contributing to that. Yeah, Shubham, in the contributors list, people can see your name. I mean, for that open source project, that you are also a contributor for that project. Okay, somebody joined a little late. He's not able to understand. Okay. Yeah, Utkarsh, I'll be sharing my LinkedIn later on. Once we are done with the session, towards the end during Q&A, I'll share my LinkedIn as well. Okay, so the people who have joined a little late, again we have a Hacktoberfest slide. What is Hacktoberfest? An annual celebration of open source contribution. This initiative is taken up to kind of promote the open source contribution in working professional as well as student, majorly targeting college student, somebody who is doing btech, bca, mca, whatever it is, working professional as well as students, targeting these people to start with open source contribution. So this is the entire month hacktober, so it comes in october every year, and where there are multiple projects that have the tag of hacktoberfest, that you can filter in github and can get a list of all those projects, see if some project aligns with your tech stack and tech skills. Then you can fork that project and you can start contributing. After going through the contribution guidelines that is there in the project, we'll do a hands-on a little later on, that what are contribution guidelines, what are readme files. Okay, everything is written in the project, you just have to find. And in multiple projects you will be finding discord community also, like discord or any chat community basically, where because you have, let's say, some doubt and you want to kind of ask the maintainers what is this and what is happening and like that, so you can connect with all of those people, the other contributors in that chat. Okay, so that is what hacktoberfest is. Okay, and somebody who has joined newly, open source contribution are the contribution to the software that are hosted freely and are open to contribution by any individual, by you, by me. If you want some enhancement in the project, for example mozilla firefox browser, if there is any enhancement that you want to have in the project, you can make a change yourself and get your pr merged into the main branch, and it will be released worldwide. There is a lot of stages in between in terms of cloning, forking, pushing your changes, getting it reviewed, then merging. But yeah, in the bigger, higher term, this is what it does. Okay, any software that is open to anybody to contribute to. Okay, that is what, and be freely used by other people. Mozilla Firefox is free, right? So yeah. So encourages open source engagement. Hacktoberfest motivates individuals to contribute to open source projects like React, Angular, TensorFlow, etc. These are all open source, and if you want to have a look at those projects, you can definitely go and check it out. Open to all experience level. So this event welcomes participants from all backgrounds, making it inclusive for newcomers and veterans alike. So if you are a newcomer, or if you are an industry professional who has been working in the industry for, let's say, 10 years but hasn't done open source contribution yet, so it's open for both of them. Okay, so there is no discrimination that okay this particular age group can do or something like that. Nothing like that, anybody can do. Okay, earn rewards and contribution. Contributors can earn rewards, making participation both fun and rewarding. So now, right now it's a digital badge, but there are multiple other initiatives run by other MNCs. Let's say Google runs Google Summer of Code. There is another initiative like MLH, and there is another outreachy. I have a separate slide on that. These are all paying internship kind of thing, paying remote internship, where you contribute to a open source project, propose some solution to a particular existing problem, and then contribute by writing code, and then your submission, if it gets approved in that 2 to 3 months of time during summer vacation or during any other different for different initiatives, if your proposal is accepted, if you are able to code things out, things that you have promised, if you are able to build that out in those 3 months of time, you get rewarded by a certificate as well as some prize money that is in dollars. So Google Summer of Code usually gives, in terms of the size of the project, it's a very big level project, like it gives $3 to $6,000 of rupees. So $3,000 if you consider, so that would be something around 2.5 lakh rupees in 3 months, right? So it depends on the scale of the project, how big the project is. Okay, so yeah, these are all financially rewarding projects that you can get rewarded for. Boost your profile and resume. This we have already talked about. Once you start contributing to open source projects, your resume definitely gets a shine on. Your profile, your LinkedIn, you can start posting on LinkedIn about what open source contribution is, how you started, how your entire journey. You can motivate others, so you get a very shiny spot in terms of recruiters and hiring managers in an interview. When you say all of those things that you have, I am the maintainer of React.js, and the interviewer might be working on React, so that would put you above him in the interview. I mean that okay, and the thing that I'm working on, this person has made some features of it, so that is very enhancing and boosting your profile in terms of recognition. How to register for Hacktoberfest? Getting involved is simple. Registration opens annually in October, allowing easy access to participate. I'll show you the website after this slide. Find beginner friendly issues. Once you register, you go to projects. There are some links already given in the Hacktoberfest website, which you can go through, that these are beginner friendly project, and you can kind of find your beginner friendly project issues. I will show you this also. A matter of pride. Winning reward through your contribution fosters a sense of pride and accomplishment. Definitely is accomplishment. Okay, Akash, I would be sharing. One second, share this tab. Yeah, guys, let me know if you are able to see the this Hacktoberfest website now. I would ask everyone right now. I'm not able to see all of the question that you are posting. We'll have a dedicated 20 to 25 minute Q&A, 20 minutes Q&A session in the end. So at that time we can okay, share the link of WhatsApp, the Hacktoberfest. Okay, I'll share the link once again. I'll put it in the chat itself. Yeah, so this is the Hacktoberfest link. Okay, so okay, you have confirmed that it is visible. So right now, I think I have already participated. I mean, I registered initially. Okay, so that's why it's saying start hacking. So everyone is welcome. Quantity is fun. Quality is the key. Short-term action, long-term action in the store communities. These are some guidelines around Hacktoberfest. Okay, this is the main website. Okay, I'll just scroll down. Participating in Hacktoberfest. Here's what you need to know to participate and compete in complete do and complete Hacktoberfest. Okay, so when they say complete Hacktoberfest, there are 4 pull requests that you have to in this span of 1st October to 31st October, that you have to submit as well as get them merge successfully into that project that you're contributing to. That is what completion guideline are. Okay, register anytime between September 23 and October 31st. So right now it's 12th October, you can go and register even now. Okay, pull merge requests can be made in GitHub or GitLab. These are major repository hosting platform. Projects that's participating in Hacktoberfest, look for the Hacktoberfest topic. So Hacktoberfest topic you can search on GitHub, and all the projects that are taking participation in this Hacktoberfest will be showing up. Aim to submit your high quality pull merge request before in this between time this October month, with project maintainers accepting your request for them to count towards your total. So as I said that the project maintainer should accept your pull request. It does not mean that you just raise a pull request with anything and they will accept. You have, the change has to be very meaningful. It should be enhancing the project structure, enhancing the project in some way in terms of feature, bug fixes, test cases, anything. Okay, so then only it will get accepted and your count, PR count will increase. Okay, you'll unlock a digital badge once you register for Hacktoberfest and level it up with each of your 4 pull merge requests accepted during Hacktoberfest. So as I was telling you, 4 is the limit. 4 is the threshold that you have to cross in terms of your PR merging. Okay. So once you merge your first PR, you will be getting a digital badge. Okay. And later on, by and by, it will kind of increase or level it up the digital badge. Okay, these are some resources: how to use Git, what is open source, how to contribute to open source, introduction to. So anyone interested can visit these links. Have most of the things I have already explained. What is open source, what is GitHub, and Git is version controlling tool. Basically it helps you to multiple people to work on the same project without waiting for anyone. Okay, it's a collaborative tool with multiple commands. Irrespective of company that you work for later on in your life, you are going to use Git. I mean, there are a couple of other tools like Git, Subversion, and Mercurial, but Git is the most favored. Like 8 out of 10 companies would be using Git, so having some information around Git commands is definitely very helpful. Okay, start contributing, participating Hacktoberfest project. So if you open this link, you guys have the link, right? So try to open this link and see what it opens. It would be opening something on the GitHub or so. All of these projects that you see after clicking on the link. Okay, I am not sharing this tab, I'll just share this tab. So if you guys are able to see, so this is the topic of Hacktoberfest. Now you can see all of these projects, right? Axios, Rust, Terminal, Microsoft. This is by Microsoft, the actual Microsoft company, right? Excalibur. This is a design tool where whiteboarding you can do, right? So if I, let's say, open this, these are the issue. I hope you guys are able to see. I'll just confirm on the chat. Git versus Git Bash. 1 second. So this is one tool. Okay, if you see this tab, this is the issues tab and this is the pull request that I was talking about. Some person would have worked on these things. For example, opened 16 hours ago by this user. This would be some user. This is web developer and web designer. She has raised some PR with her changes into this project, right? Here is the summary of what she has done in as part of this pull request. See, this is how big the change she has done, sorry. So this is the code she has written. Okay, and it is a TypeScript app.tsx file. So this is a TypeScript code. You might be skilled in C++ or C sharp or Java or something else, so you will find a project that is written in Java or C++ or C sharp. Now she was skilled in TypeScript, so she found out a project, let's say Excalibur, right? And she found that this is missing and this is the issue. For example, she has also mentioned the issue this. So if you click on that, it is opening, I think. 1 second. Yeah, so when selecting a rectangle, ellipse, diamond, image, linear or arrow tool, clicking on the canvas should create a default sided shape. So this was the issue that was there. So I would like to work on the task as agreed with Mark. She might have talked with somebody on the Discord server. Okay, somebody wants to know the issue a little more, so he has asked for that. Okay, and similarly, Some people claim it and then start working. Okay, now this guy Dwell would be the maintainer of the project, assigned this girl the project and the issue. So somebody was asking about how to have an upper hand, right? So have a chat in the section, this section, in the issues section, and you can claim it, and then you can work on it. And then after working on, she yesterday or day before yesterday created a pull request, draft pull request. If there are any reviews around that this is not right, this is not right, this is not working as expected, the maintainers would be giving a review about that. And once you kind of do the changes according to the review, it will get merged. Right now it's in open state. So if you go to the pull request, I think this was the one, right? So right now this pull request is open, or something draft pull request. Okay, this is a draft pull request. She might be making changes to it again right now after raising the pull request as well. Okay, so this is the section where you find issues. Okay, and you see the label. This is very important section. Okay, so there are multiple labels that this issue belongs to which category. For example, optimize, eraser, performance. This is related to performance. So this is the performance label. If I go for good first issue, so sorry, as a beginner, you mostly look for good first issue. These are left open by the maintainers and other people, that somebody new, for example, you are new to open source, new to this project. Okay, in that case, you can go and filter out by good first issue. Okay, good for newcomers, good for newcomers. See what the issue is about. Let me open some issue, flowchart clones, and I'll show you what Excali draw does. One second. So this is the whiteboarding kind of tool that Excali draw is. Okay, some people might have already used it. Flowchart clones the current arrowhead settings instead of setting no arrowhead on the start and arrowhead in the end. So this is the bug that it was there. So steps to reproduce is written here, and somebody would be claiming it and working on it, right? This is the Excalibur tool that you can see in the GIF. Okay, this is a bigger project. This is kind of a bigger project than a lot of people would be using. And to see if a project is used by people or not, I mean, see, you can filter project in that term, that it has been starred by 82.6 thousand people. This has been forked by 7.5 plus thousand of people, right? So the number of stars tells that how much people know about it, how much people are trying to read or contribute to it, right? So it's a good number, of very good number of stars. Okay, and I was telling you about, let's say, one thing before moving to that topic, I'll also search for, let me okay, Hacktoberfest is just a topic. It doesn't come as a label here. Rather, in the topic itself, I had initially opened. This is the topic, right? So in the topic, it's taking, it's part of Hacktoberfest. So you can go and contribute to this project. Now the project is slightly on the, as a beginner, you might be overwhelmed by the number of code lines and number of things you see in the project. Okay, so to navigate this project easily, there is a readme.md file. If you open this, although it's written at the downward as well, so this is the readme .md file. Okay, some licensing is also there. Download, see, 337K per month. So more than close to 3.5 lakh people are downloading this software every month. So you see how big of a project this is, right? And this is their Discord server. If you click on that, you might be redirected to their Discord server, where you can talk to other peer contributors of this project, the maintainers, the people who might have built this from scratch. So you can kind of go and talk to them about certain issues. So this is what it does. This is the feature of the tool, free and open source. This is what open source softwares are. Anybody can contribute. I can also contribute to this. Okay, infinite canvas base. These are the basically the features. Okay, excalibur.com, quick start, and now some guidelines on how to fork and clone in. Because to contribute to any project, first what you need to do is you need to reproduce or start that in your local development server or in your local laptop, right? So these are the commands that are written: npm install react dom. Pretty much this would be written in, let's say, TypeScript. See, here you can see what languages. How, if you want to filter that, I am very well versed in UI, so I know TypeScript very well, let's say. So I will see some project that is written, this project is written 93% in TypeScript. So I know TypeScript, so I'll maybe be interested in this project. Okay, so this is the guideline on how to, run this in your local. Okay, by downloading this, installing this npm package. And these are the contribution guidelines. Missing someone or some missing something or found a bug, report here. You can report a bug that, okay, on clicking of this should happen, but it's not happening. So you can report that bug here. Want to contribute, check out our contribution guideline. I will open that in a new tab. Okay, so these has extensions with VS Code as well. So if you go to extensions in VS Code, you can maybe add this extension as an extension, so that you do not have to go to their website. Rather, you can in your VS Code itself, you can start drawing boxes and everything for your designing. Okay, so this is a readme file. There was a bit about the information, the thing that you have to do. Now if you want, now you have understood the project, you want to contribute to this, let's say. Okay, I am sharing the other time. So this is the contribution guideline, the setup, the contribution pull request guidelines, that the code commit. You might, if you have worked with Git, you would be doing some Git and some commit message. So this is how you have to format your, PR comment message, that this is what I am doing. Feat means a new feature you have developed and there was a bug, let's say. So you have to write fix. And let me see if there is any open PR. I'll show you there itself the commit message or something. Yeah, 1 second, I think this would do. So you see this PR, feat. So this is some feature addition into the this particular project, and what it does, it fixes this issue. And here is a video of that, what the code change does. This is a 55-line code that somebody would have written. This is the format: add support for web.tutor.add embeds. And this is the feature. I can know from the title itself that this was a new feature and not a bug fix. Okay, so this is how you so multiple other things are there here. You can definitely go through the contribution guideline, that these are the contribution guidelines for this project. Okay, the installation, integration, customized styles and everything. Okay, so this is pretty much written in TypeScript. So if you are interested in TypeScript and you know TypeScript, you can go and check it out, check this project out. Okay, so I hope I'll be going quickly to the, okay. Okay, so I hope that was clear, that how to navigate to these GitHub projects that are taking part in Hacktoberfest and are open source. You can, in Hacktoberfest in October or in any month of the year, you can start contributing to them. Okay. Should we all do the four from the same repo? I mean, I don't think that is a necessity. You will have to go through the Hacktoberfest guidelines that it has to be the from the same repo. Usually people do. I don't think it has to be. I mean, in my time when I did, I don't think I did in a single repo. It can be multiple repo. It's just that you have to make four pull requests and then get it merged before 31st October. Okay. I am already a beginner in coding. How can I give a pull request? I mean, Mahendra, you will have to learn some tech stack, contribute to a smaller project. Excalibur was a very big project, okay, and it might become very overwhelming to start contributing to Excalibur right away. So rather pick some small scale project, okay, that is not very active. It's, let's say, some to do app or some CSS kind of thing, and some minute enhancement. Even in Excalibur, if there are very minute enhancement bug fixes that you can see, you can. And in the beginning, since you are not very well versed with code, people also contribute to the readme file, the file that I showed you, right, where it has contribution guidelines, the features. It is all text, right? So you can contribute to the readme.md file as well. MD stands for markdown. Okay, you will have to download or use a web editor for markdown editor, so that you can edit that file. the functioning of that file is a little different from text file. Okay, so read about what are markdown editors, how to edit a markdown file, and if you think that you can enhance something in the readme, so that tomorrow somebody when come go through their readme, they should understand everything from the readme, and you think that something is lacking here, there is one typo, one spelling mistake is there, you raise a pull request that okay, instead of and it's written adn, some misspelling, okay, misspelled something, point that out and then create a pull request for that, and if that gets merged, that is also counted as one pull request done. Okay, so in the beginning people do that as well. Okay, so that you can do. What is readme file? I have already told you, Utkarsh, that the read about the readme file. Okay, so we do have low or non-code issues which require help in terms of core or mathematical knowledge. Yes, Pravan Gupta, as I told you, we can have, apart from coding, documentation is also one thing that is very highly critical for these projects. You can contribute to the documentation as well, be it README or be it other documentation of the project. This would be getting recorded, I believe. So you can maybe talk to Akash later on. Open, okay. How to contribute when we don't know any practical knowledge? We have just learned theoretical knowledge till now. All the open source are need deep knowledge. How can we contribute? Just know, learning just one language is okay. Just enhance your language in the learn the skill, the deep understanding of that particular knowledge, or let's say a framework, for example React. So Excalibur was written in TypeScript. If you learn TypeScript, you will get to know the project structure, the things that it is doing. Even if you do the local development setup, by going through the code, the learning will happen there itself. You do not have to learn something from elsewhere and then come to this. You have to build a basic block of learning. Let's say TypeScript, the project was written in TypeScript. You learn TypeScript, how React JS, how TypeScript, how JavaScript works, and then you jump onto some project. Start small. See, you cannot read the entire project. It will take years. Pick one module that you see, do the local development setup, pick one module, and then see if there is any issues in that module. Okay, so even in the bigger project or even in your company that you will go, you might not be knowing the entire project. You would be knowing, you have to become the expert of that one module. So like that, once you start exploring that one module, it will be relatively easier to find out bugs and in them, right? I'll be showing you how you can fork and clone, and then local development setup. It is different for different projects, so you will have to follow the contribution guidelines. Okay, I can show you how to get that into your local machine. I can show you. Yeah, you can, Anshuman, you can, filter out projects in terms of, for example, topic or language selection is also there. Just go to GitHub, search for Python project or something. There is some filter of Python language. You just put a filter of Python language, and you will definitely, it's very easy to, navigate to, or you can do a Google search to, for example, a lot of people would have made their to-do application in Python, right? So just see the smaller scale. I mean, do not look for thousands of stars. See for 5 star, 6 star, 7 star, right? Smaller scale project, very small scale project. Just a to-do app to add something, remove something from the to-do app. It's a smaller UI. Okay, that is the building block that you can start with. That is very easy to find. Okay. Who owns a community project? What if the project we have contributed is being acquired by a bigger company, or all the community contributors paid? I mean, I am not sure if you are paid. You wouldn't be paid, at least as a contributor. Maintainers have might be having some authority over that, because project maintainers are the people who are having that access kind of thing. And if they have that kind of equity or something, maybe when it's selling to a bigger corp, in that case they might be making money, but as an individual contributor, I don't think you would be making any money even if it gets acquired. Okay. Otherwise you will have to have some equity if that is listed, or even if it's not listed, you will need to be an employee. I mean, as an open source contributor, you won't get it. This is mostly for the learning purpose. But yeah, a lot of good learnings and recognition happens through them. Okay, I'll move on to the slide again. Yeah, I hope the slides are visible. So we have already covered this. Why participate in Hacktoberfest? Unlock opportunities in the open source world. Hands-on coding experience. This is the, as a college student, in the end, what do you want? I mean, as a college student, you mostly pretty much want a job, right? So be it a remote job. Tomorrow, let's say if you're going for a remote job and you show them that you have contributed to these all projects, I mean, your chances of getting hired, will double up. I mean, your traditional typical companies coming into your placement, for example, TCS, Wipro, or any other companies, they would still be asking you DSA and everything. But in your resume, this will still shine. But if you're going for a remote job or something that takes interview on the basis of your particular skill set, let's say you are very good in React and the position is for front end developer using React. In that case, your all of these contribution will be taken into consideration, and interview will happen, but you will have brownie points, a lot of brownie points that you have contributed. You already have a lot of knowledge around these nuances, right? So in that case, it becomes very efficient for you to hop on to jobs after your college or something. Okay, so that's where it becomes very good for your career, at least in terms of job and pay. Okay, hands-on coding experience, gain practical coding knowledge, coding skills, and learn to collaborate on real projects. These are all real projects that are being used by real audiences. The Excalibur project that I saw, that I showed you, had 337K downloads per month, right? 3.5 lakh people are downloading that particular project per month. So you know that it's a very good scale, right? There would be millions of users using that Excalibur, right? So the learning opportunity in that term is huge. Even if you join companies after your placement, the learning opportunity in that won't be there as much as it would be in this particular project. Okay, and similarly there are multiple other, this was just an example. Okay, get hands-on experience with VCS systems like Git. So I've already told you Git is a collaborative platform in a version controlling system, which developers mostly use to collaborate while writing code with multiple team. For example, let's say in my company, our team of 10 people, right? And let's say it's a small scale project, so a lot of people would be working on the same project at the same time, right? So to help them collaborate together so that one is not hindering the other development. For example, there is a concept of branching. There is a main branch, and let's say there are three people working on the same project, so they will create their separate branches out of that main branch. I am working on branch A, you are working on branch B, somebody is working on branch C. We all three can independent of each other can work on the features that we are building at the same time without disturbing any other people from working. So that is asynchronous programming that you guys are doing at the same time, so that in improves your development time, release cycles, collaborative efficiency and effort that you're putting in. And later on everything goes to the main branch. There could be a scene or there could be a scenario that I worked on something in the main branch, but you also worked on the same line, same thing. Okay, somehow on a smaller part of it. Okay, and now it's clashing. So the multiple terminologies around merge conflict, pull request, and everything. The things that I'm saying, right? So all of these Git related terms that you will have to go through. You can go through a YouTube playlist or something around Git. That what is a pull request? What is Git stash? What is Git add? What is commit? What is pushing? What is merging? How to resolve a merge conflict. So all of these things you will have to get hands on a bit. You do not have to become an expert, you will learn on the way, but have a high level picture of what all these things are. Okay, build your portfolio. Second point, showcase your skill with tangible contributions to open source projects. Participate in open source initiatives like Google Summer of Code, Google Summer of Docs, MLH, Outreachy, etc. Okay, so tangible contribution is like, I mean, once you put that everything into your resume that you contributed to 5 open source projects or let's say contributed to two open source projects, added 30 PRs in a span of 6 months. So these are all tangible accomplishment that you have done in the past 6 months or in a 6 month time period. That these were the project that you contributed to. This is the number of lines you have written combined. This is the number of pull requests that you have raised. This is the number of pull requests that got merged into that project. The scale of the project, for example, the Excalibur project that I showed you, that I have worked on a project that is being used by 20 million people, like that. So all of these, when it goes into the resume na, that creates a very positive impact in front of the interviewer or the hiring manager. Network with developers. Now once you do all of these things, right, open source contribution, you go to open source conferences, GitHub conferences, and the company, the open source project that you are working for, if you are continuously working for it, let's say 6 7 months, you will have some network of good people that are working. I mean, the getting job and everything becomes very easy in that case. Otherwise you will all be, dependent on the college placements, off campus placement and stuff like that, right? In that case, companies, in most cases, companies can come directly to you, that we saw your contribution, because open source is all open. Everybody can search how much contribution Ankur has done, right? So they can come to you that, okay, you have done a lot of work in this project, we are working on the similar line and we want to hire you. So the job interview process, job getting process, getting reached out by recruiter and everything, that becomes very smooth in that case. Okay. And you have a good connection of, highly talented developers, because people who work on these projects, they are very highly talented. Okay. Connect with that community of developers, enhancing your professional network. And people working on these projects, they are definitely connected on Discord servers, right? Discord or different open source might be using, but Discord is the most popular one. Earlier there was a chat application called Gitter, when I was trying to contribute to some of the large scale projects, and the name was Gitter, I think. Yeah. So I had joined that, but now Discord is very popular among the developers. So people usually join into the Discord server, and they can, talk to the fellow developers, fellow participants, contributing to the same OS project. Recognition and rewards, and earn accolades and rewards, boosting your profile and motivating your efforts. Digital badges, swags, goodies, etc. All of these conferences that you see, I mean, open source contribution is one thing. A lot of conferences, as I told you, happen everywhere. Like, let's say you are skilled in React, and there is some conference happening in React. You And since you have become a subject matter expert in that particular area, in that domain, recently one of my friend, or one of my acquaintance, went to Japan for a conference. Somebody went to Spain for a conference. You can register as a speaker, as a audience, I mean, as a listener. But if you go as a speaker, all of the to and fro, your expenses are taken care of, flight, stay, everything. You just go there, give your talk on the topic that you've decided to. There are multiple, benefits and advantages of doing open source contribution that way. So this is what rewards and recognition, kind of rewards and recognition you can expect once you start actively contributing to a big scale project. Okay. You will develop inherent development of, going to conferences, connecting with similar like-minded people, and meeting different people in multiple meetups for open source, and various other conferences that happen throughout the country, in India and abroad. So goodies, swags, you will have a bunch of it. In that case, you won't be buying a t-shirt anytime in your life. Then I have some 8 to 10 different t-shirts from different initiatives. My reasons are different. I was not that much into open source, but yeah, as a developer, you will never have to find t-shirt in the market if you do open source very, actively. Boost your profile and resume. I mean, we have already talked a lot about boosting your profile and resume as part of your open source contribution. I mean, the enormous opportunities would be flowing down your way once you start contributing to open source. And once you have dedicatedly sticked to one project for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, then you will start to realize the potential of the project, the potential that you will gain. Once you compare yourself from your peers in your college, you would be at a very higher, space in comparison to them. There could still be factors in terms of campus placement that you might be not, if you are not paying that much attention to DSA or stuff, that there could be some shortcoming. I mean, that you will definitely have to take care of. But in terms of your tech stack knowledge and development knowledge, the best practices, the design patterns, the code quality, and all of that industry best practices, in that terms, you will be unmatchable by anybody, any peer of your college and surroundings in that case. So the benefits are enormous. A significant 70% of hiring managers prioritize candidates with open source contribution, reflecting the impact on employability. So, if there are two people in an interview, they have given the same level of interview, but you have an open source written to a bigger project with good amount of contribution and quality contribution, not readme file contribution, rather quality, either a bug fix or a feature development kind of good contribution. In that case, there is no doubt that you would be preferred over that other candidate. So that's where it helps you in employability. Just have a look in the chat. Okay, cool. So prerequisites. I mean, people were asking that you do you have to be an expert or something. I mean, you do not have to be. I mean, you cannot become an expert. I am myself not an expert in any of the languages as of now, even, right? So programming is something that you keep on learning on the way with various phases of your life, right? In college, in projects. The earlier you are exposed to such large scale or huge projects, the earlier you learn things. That is what I have observed. Okay, sometimes people go to multiple companies, let's say even after placement, but the work they are doing, it's not that exciting and that interesting, right? In that case, you can turn to open source contribution, so that your learning keeps on happening. There is no hindrance in your learning curve, right? So in that case also, you can start learning, I mean, you can start building on your tech stack and start contributing to these open source contributions. Okay, prerequisite key things to know before starting with open source contributions. Okay, first thing first, programming language. You need to know some programming language. It could be anything: C++, React, Java, or any other programming language, C Sharp or .NET, anything. There are potentially projects in every, written in every language. So there is not the case that you know a language but there is no project in that language. So that is not going to happen anywhere soon, anytime soon. Okay. So programming language is one prerequisite on the main prerequisite. Learning version controlling system. So I've already talked to you about version controlling system, right? Git, subversion, mercurial r3. Try to learn about Git. The of 8 to 10, there are common commands that are most effective and useful in your software development, day-to-day software development. So in that case, you can start learning about Git commands like the git stash, git add star, git add dot, and git commit, git push, git pull, git merge, git stash pop. So all of these common commands about Git you can learn. You can just binge watch an entire playlist of learning Git. So that's not the difficult part, I would say. Now, the third thing is creating a GitHub or GitLab account. This is also another easy step that you have. Just go to github.com, sign up for that. You enter your email ID, just register yourself on GitHub. Explore projects there. A lot of projects are there on GitHub and GitLab. GitHub is preferred over GitLab probably because of the easy user interface and the kind of community that is present already on the most of the projects are also present on GitHub. So that is one recommended out of the two. Understanding open source terms: fork, pull request, issue, merge. All of these terms you will get acquainted. These are not very difficult terms. These are very easy terms. Fork and pull request, maybe, I mean, I'll tell you a little later on. Fork is basically, I showed you Excalibur project, right? I'll right now show you the fork then. Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen, the Excalibur project? I'll just turn to the chat. Guys, I need your confirmation if you can see the Excalibur project. Yep, I have couple of yeses. Okay, fine, got it. So I went to this Excalibur project. This is my GitHub account that I am logged in with. Okay. So if I want to pick any issue, first thing first, before picking any issue, first I will need to know what is this project, what it does, right? I do not have any idea about this project. Okay, I know that this is some tooling, some design platform where you can make boxes, arrows and everything, right? So first thing first that I'll do is fork the project. I clicked on this fork. So it is asking me what's the name that you want to give it to this repository that I am forking. So I said, okay, Excalibur seems fine to me. I'll create a fork. Now, fork is the exact copy of the project, but under my name. You see, now it's Kesari 007 slash Excalibur. So now this has been the actual project was this Excalibur slash Excalibur. But now that I have forked it, it's coming under my name. So this is my kind of repository now that I can work with, and I can build on the feature, bug fixes, anything. Now you see this code, this green button. Click on this. Click on copied. Now this link has been copied. Okay, so I've already made one one folder whose name is open source project. I opened my terminal here, right? Let's see if there is anything. There is one other open source project again, something name as text lint. Okay, I have copied the link from here. Yeah, this link I have copied now. Okay, I opened my terminal. I did a git clone, and then I paste this xcarry.get, the link that I had copied. Now I will just press enter. So this project is now, after forking this project, this is my copy of the project. Now I am trying to get this project into my local. So if I show you, this is the Excalibur project that I was talking about. So these are all the files that is there in Excalibur app, Firebase project, package.json. Now I can open this project in VS Code. For example, if I go to this one second, already have this some project open. So basically you have to just new window and open. I will navigate to the documents and open source my docs, and then you see open source and then Excalibur. So I just now opened the Excalibur project in my local. Now after having this in my local, I will have to see, okay, now that the project is in my local, how should I run this in my local, right? I will have to run this in my local, right, to see how it works, what does what. These are some examples. So these are the component, these are the sidebar, these are SCSS files, these are TSX files, right? So now I will switch to this Excalibur. I mean, I will go through the installation guidelines that after you clone it into your, clone it into your local machine in your local laptop. How do I run this first thing first, right? So this is the run command, npm install. So once you run this, this might work fine, or it might want you to install something else as well, right? So this is the process. First thing was forking, then cloning using this link. This is the link, https link. Now the project is in my local. I can see the run commands that I have to run it in my local. Things to install, that npm libraries and everything, I can get it running. Then I will see, okay, what are the issues now. I will pick up some issue. I'll see how it is happening, why it is happening, how I can mitigate that. Then I'll show you once again. So right now I have not done any change in this. Okay, some errors are also coming. Reason being, I have not done npm install, right, the command that was written there. Okay, so that is not the purpose. I will, maybe if I want to work on this, I will do that, otherwise not. Okay, so now if I do git branch, so this is the master branch that I have. This is the git I was telling you about, to kind of learn about git command. This is now the, if I want to work on a feature, let's say bug fix. Okay,
Ankur, your screen is the GitHub is only visible.
Okay, the GitHub is visible. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'll just stop sharing and share again with my VS Code. Okay. Window entire screen. Okay, let me know if Akash, if the VS Code is visible now.
Yeah, it is visible.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I was telling you guys about, that this is the master branch that I am in. I have cloned this project. Okay. I have opened in my local. There are some error as of now, but because I haven't run the npm command as of now, right? So this is the master branch. This is the main branch. You do not commit to the main branch. Okay. So let's say I have to do one bug fix. Okay. So I'll create my own branch with the relative name, that okay, this is the issue hashtag 8663, and this is the bug fix that I'm trying to do. Git checkout space minus b, this is my branch name where I'll be doing my code changer. Okay, I do not commit directly to the master branch, I commit to my feature branch. Okay, let's say bug fix, enter. So switch to a new branch, bug fix. So if I do git branch again, so now see there are two branches. I mean this to this the feature branch, I mean the bug fix branch that I have created, and one is this master branch where the latest productionized version of the code is existing. Okay, now I will build on top of this. Let's say I do not want it to name as open, I want this to be opened. For an example, just an example, I saved this. Okay, git status. So now it says me that okay, you have modified this particular file. The name is example sidebar.tsx. Okay. Now I will do git add star this dot. Now if I again do git status, you see that it is in my staging area. Now I just have to commit this change according to the guidelines that they have given, and then after committing, I will push to my own branch. Okay, then I will create a pull request. So this is how, I mean, going everything would be a little difficult considering the time. I have a lot of to cover in the code as well, slides as well. Okay, let me know if my GitHub is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, so yeah, so that was around. I hope students got an understanding of how things work. Okay. Akriti is saying explain once more, folk. I mean, Akriti, you can have a look later on. You just have to go to this thing. Just click on this button. That's it. Click on this button, and a prompt will come to give a name. Just give some name. That's it, and you're done. So this is how easy the fork is. Okay. So you have a GitHub account. You have understanding. You have to understand open source terms like fork, pull request. I already told you about fork, pull request, issue, merge. Merging is just pushing your code and then merging to the main branch that we had, so that it is the final version that will be going to live. Okay, basic command line skills. I mean, it's kind of not mandatory but good to have if you know command line. Like cat or grep and other command line tools, so that is helpful. How to register for Hacktoberfest? Visit the official website. It's very easy process. I have already showed you the website. I have already registered for it. Okay. So just go to hacktoberfest.com. I have already shared the link. Sign up with GitHub. First make a GitHub account, then sign up with your GitHub account, read the guidelines and start contributing. As easy as that. So you can earn rewards. I mean, right now it's only a digital badge that you will be getting. I mean, if I have that, let me show you that as well. The digital badge, that something like this. I mean, maybe, I mean, I can claim this with GitHub. Once you sign up, you get some badge, then it will be leveled up as soon as you raise your pull request. So this is how the badge look like. Okay. So sense of accomplishment, community engagement, skill enhancement, all of these topics we have already talked about in depth. So these are the benefits of contributing to the open source softwares. The learning opportunity is huge. Finding beginner friendly issues we have already talked about, right? Utilizing GitHub labels. I showed you GitHub labels. Search for issues labeled as good first issue or help wanted for easier contribution. So as a beginner, when you want to start, you just look for good first issue. These are smaller issues so that you can, it's very easy to contribute to them. Explore first timers only. Visit the first timers only website like goodfirstissue.dev. So people were asking for, a slightly smaller project. You can go to goodfirstissues.dev. It is has mentioned in the this Hacktoberfest website as well in the bottom, I think. Good first issue. You'll have to have a look into this, and there was a section that was yeah, this one, start contributing, explore project with issues on good for issue.dev. Issues up for grabs.net. So just visit all of these and you will find how to pick up your first issue. Okay, to find issues for newcomers in open source. Align with your skill. Engage with projects that resonate with your skills and interests for better contribution. Something that you are skilled in, TypeScript you are skilled in, it is fairly easier for you to contribute to a TypeScript project, right? So that's what it says. Characteristics of a beginner friendly issues. Understanding easy entry points for open source contribution. Smaller scope tasks. Beginner friendly issues often involve smaller tasks of fixing typos or enhancing documentation, making them manageable. So in the first go, you do not have to go and do a big code change. Do small change that I talked about, typos, right? Do that change. So that is also considered as a legit change. Just that it has to be meaningful and should add to that project. Clear instruction. These issues typically come with well defined instruction, ensuring that anyone can understand what is required to contribute. So when you see the issues, there would be a description, what is the issue, how you can reproduce in your local machine, in your local laptop, right? So look for those issues which have a very good description, what is the issue, how it can be reproduced, and what could be causing the issue around, I mean, nitty gritties around that. Less complex code base, they are usually found in less complex code bases, which makes navigating and understanding the code simpler for newcomer. So that's more on the scale that it has to be. If you go for a little smaller a smaller scale project, or little, I mean, not that heavy code lines, for example, not in lakhs but in, let's say, 1,000, 10,000 lines of code in the entire project, it's easier to navigate as a newcomer. So that's what it speaks about. Examples of contribution, key contribution in open source development. Documentation update is one thing, bug fixes is one thing, adding test cases, even that is also considered as a contribution, because engineering excellence is that these people heavily, rely upon and take care of that. Every code contribution that you do has to be covered in test cases as well, right? So that is very much, these are the three field. I mean, feature development is another thing that is not. These are some easier examples of, because feature development, a new feature if you're developing, that will take a, kind of more of your effort and energy in the first go. So at the first go, you can contribute to documentation, the readme file, the bug fixes, the adding test cases. So these are the easier ones, or easy to go in the first, as a first timer. Okay. So engagement with the community, boost your open source experience through community involvement. Participate in Hacktoberfest events, engage in GitHub discussions, connect on social media, enhance learning experience. All of these things we have already talked about much in detail. You will, I hope, after this session, you would be participating in Hacktoberfest event. Okay, I mean, if you are interested, you should definitely give it a try. It's a very good thing. Later on, you will realize what magic it does. Engage in GitHub discussions. I mean, you have Discord servers, and GitHub discussions are another thing that you can, Google it about it. Utilize discussion for inquiries and knowledge sharing within the community. Even if you do not understand a particular issue, you can, talk to them in the issues section, that I do not understand, can you explain it more to me? So that is how open the community is. That's where the magic happens, that everybody is there to help you out with your first merge, first PR. Connect on social media, follow and interact with fellow developers to expand your network. Networking is one legit thing that you will get out of this. I mean, once, let's say you work with some maintainer of some big project, let's say React.js, and since you have been developing features for that project for, let's say, 6 7 months, and he endorses you on LinkedIn, that you have been endorsed by this X person who is the maintainer of React.js. So what impression that will have in terms of recruiters, hiring manager, other fellow developers, that okay, since this person has been endorsed by such a high level person, this person would be definitely very at par with his tech stack. So that is the confidence it gives you. Some open source initiatives, the open source initiatives that I talked about initially, like Google Summer of Code, initiatives that encourage you to begin your open source journey and earn dollars at the same time. So Google Summer of Code is one such initiative. It was launched in 2005. It is a 12 plus week program in the summers where you can, contribute to a project, send a proposal that I want to contribute this project, this is the issue that I am thinking of to work on, send a timeline wise proposal to the maintainers, and if it gets accepted, you are accepted into Google Summer of Code. And then in the 3 months it gets in two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. You develop the promised things, and if you are able to develop it properly, you get a stipend of close to 3 4 lakhs now, I think. So based on the scale of the project that you are participating in. Similar programs are Outreachy. This program provides paid remote internship to people subject to systematic bias and impacted by underrepresentation in the tech industry. So people, if there are people, a certain community of people who are underrepresented in the tech community, it's mostly for that, but anybody can participate in that as well, I think. Fellowship. Major League Hacking offers a 12-week fellowship where participants contribute to open source projects and that are widely used in the industry. Most of them have a stipend associated with that. So not just learning and connecting with peers, you are also earning a pretty good amount of money in just in your college. I know people who have done in my college itself, who have done 2 consecutive years of Google Summer of Code. I mean, Google Summer of Code is kind of more reputed in that sense, and more, a lot of people know about it. So he did Google Summer of Code twice consecutive years in the from first year itself. He knew about all of that. So one thing is awareness. A lot of people do not have that awareness. Now that you are aware that some these things exist, you can go and check that out. Okay. Now Google season of dogs, if somebody is there in the in the meeting who is not particularly interested in coding, rather he likes to do documentation, he can go for these high scale projects, have a massive documentation. And Google season of dog, GSOD, this program connects technical writers with open source projects to improve their documentation. So you can improve their documentation, make it very understandable to their audience. You can just write, if you know English, you're good to go for this particular program. Okay, provided you should know about the project and nitty-gritties about around it. Linux Foundation Mentorship Program is another such program that gives you a massive stipend with the opportunity to learn. Preparation tips for first time participant. Maximize your Hacktoberfest experience with 3 essential steps. Create a GitHub account, you have already known. Explore open source project, that I have already told. Read contribution guidelines, now you already know about it, right? How to contributions.md file would be there. Or in the readme.md file, you will find the contribution guidelines. Click on that link, go through it, how you have to start contributing to that project. So you're good to go. Yep, I think we are pretty much done with the slides. Q&A session. I'll okay, stop sharing my screen and switch on to the questions. Atul, Linux Foundation is also, I mean, it's more aligned towards, Linux based projects, making softwares for maybe Linux based projects and Linux based operating system. I mean, you can go and explore. In the end, these are all open source softwares. I mean, in terms of their domain, they differ. But in the end, these are all because, for example, different people might be interested in different topics. Let's say I am interested in front end, but you do not like front end at all, you are very much interested in back end. But there is another guy who's very much interested in internal driver level knowledge, and kind of bash knowledge, shell knowledge, and all of that, TCP, IP, and DNS and everything. I mean, more towards networking or something. So there are multiple domains in the software industry. Somebody has said he was interested in data scientist path, machine learning path, right? So you just have to pick up project of your own personal choice, your personal interest, and then build on top of that. You can explore the Linux Foundation thing, what all projects come under that, what all projects participate in that particular initiative, and then you can participate in that. Arshdeep is saying, for Hacktoberfest, we have to select issues, do changes, and create PRs to merge changes with them. But we can contribute to other projects throughout the year also. Yes, yes, Arshdeep. This is basically to promote open source. Throughout the year, you can do anything. You can contribute to any project. It's not that you have to just do in October. No, it's not necessary to it just have to be AI project. As I said, Hemal, if you know Python, there are a lot of Python based project. I mean, the backend would be written in Python. I told you about Flask is one such project. Flask is particular library, but there would be projects that would be utilizing Flask as a framework for their backend, and it is written in Python. So if you want to enhance your Python language and work on something based on Flask or Django, these are Python's framework for backend development, right? So you can search for those projects and then start contributing. I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be AI or machine learning in that case. Saksham, the good time to start with Google Summer of Code, for example, before submitting any proposal. I mean, usually happens in the summertime, right? And June, July, and August. I think it extends till August, right? So that is the actual coding period. But preparation people start do, for example, August, September, October right now is going on, right? You start searching for projects right now because it will take some time to understand wholly the entire project, right? You spend some 3 4 5 months in understanding and start contributing already before Google Summer of Code. Now once you have some bigger picture, some knowledge around the project, then you see for if that because in January organization gets announced that okay, these are the organization that are participating in this year's Google Summer of Code. And if that organization that you are contributing to, if that participates again, you can look at a history. If an organization is participating for last 6 years, there is the high chance it will participate in the next year as well. Okay, so in that case, look at organization participating from, let's say, 5 6 years in the past. Start contributing, do multiple contribution, 2 3 4 5 PRs before announcement itself. You would be getting to know a lot of thing about project, the maintenance and everyone. Now now after announcement of the organization taking part, see what thing that you can enhance. I mean, you, because you would be submitting a proposal that you would be working on such and such stuff during the Google Summer of Code, right? So having initial knowledge is definitely helpful in that case. So you just have that understanding about the project, propose a proposal, get it reviewed by somebody who has already been selected in Google Summer of Code already, so that helps. And then you send out the proposal, and if accepted, you will be getting to work during the summers. So for Google Summer of Doc, I am not exactly sure of the timeline. I am. You can definitely check out the documentation of Google Summer of Doc, so that will be there. Swaleha Sheikh, I do not understand the question, sir. What about people who use prompting? Will they be able to contribute to the open source projects? Prompting, as in like the AI prompts that you give to ChatGPT. In the end, you have to write some code, so you might definitely be required to code in one specific language. AI, Jay has asked, can you show some contributions in AI project or where I can find references under this domain? So AI projects, I mean, if you let me do a normal Google search, open source AI project, okay, AI projects to contribute, okay. Let me see if there are any AI projects. Llama 2 by Meta and Microsoft. Okay, so Llama 2 is definitely a model. I'll share you the sorry, I'll share you the link. This is one such project that you can contribute to probably. And just do a Google search. I mean, after the webinar, what can I do? I mean, Shobit, I am not very clear with your question. It is your call. What you want to do? Okay. Yes, sir. That will give to Gemini or ChatGPT. Oh, my LinkedIn profile. Yes, I'll share with that. Yep. So this is my LinkedIn profile. You guys can connect with me. Also, students already present in the webinar. Can you give me a thumbs up if you found the session helpful? Was it informative enough? Did we deep dive into this? And anything you think I could have improved? So you can give us that feedback as well. So if you have learned something from the session, do give me a thumbs up in the chat. That will really help me understand the level of session that I have delivered. Thank you, Anubhav, Shubham, Swati, Jay. And let's connect on LinkedIn. Akash, I think we are good. And I think we are good with the questions as well. I mean, most of the questions have been answered. And if you have any doubts, either you DM me or just first go for a Google search, normal Google search. A lot of resources are available, a lot of documentations are available. And these open source projects have a very good documentation. Each and everything is documented very well. So it's just that it'll take some time. And if somebody is planning to, contribute, I would suggest you to stick to that for certain period of time, and because it becomes very overwhelming seeing lots of lines of code, then becomes very difficult to understand at first. But yeah, I would suggest you to sticking to that project. Keep on reading something or the other every day. One day, kind of it'll all start making sense. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you, Akash. Thank you, Ritesh. I have already shared my LinkedIn profile. I will share again. Yeah, yeah, everyone can connect to me. I think Akash, we are good. You can connect with me. Everyone, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, definitely.
Thank you, Ankur. That was a great session. I think from chat we can see that people really liked the session, and
Yeah, I
it
hope
was very
everyone are happy.
yeah. So to everyone, yeah, we will provide this recording on LMS also, and we will be having another session next week, taking forward about Hacktoberfest. And so we'll love to see all of you guys in the next session. And you can reach out to your EC's work in your Slack workspaces on your Masai LMS. So we'll help you out over there. So thanks, guys.